What's up guys, David Falla here, and today we have a crazy transformation. So we're gonna go ahead and use a number 3 to start this haircut, and the number 3 is pretty much gonna be just to kind of give shape to the haircut and also to remove bulk. How you can see the client right now, his hair is super long, so it's easier when the hair is shorter, when it has some shape to it. Usually for the most part what I would like to do is kind of start with the top. I will cut the top first, but in this case, you know, start with the bottom. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and create a first guideline. This is gonna be with the 5 zeros. You can use your trimmer, you can use you know, the machine with a lever closed, whatever you have, just to create your first guideline. This is gonna be like a mid to high fade, so actually more like a high fade, so that's why like I'm doing the guide right where it is, right at the temple. That's when I created my first guideline. That's what I usually do when I'm doing any type of high fades. So here we're gonna go ahead and use the electric shaver. With the electric shaver, we just want to be careful not to make any harsh lines. So when you're getting close to the first guideline that we did with the zero, you're gonna go ahead and kind of flick that out, kind of like in a letter C motion, and that's about it. We're gonna start creating our first guideline. We're gonna create a first guideline using just a machine with a lever open, or you know, the lever down, and then we're gonna go ahead and right away when we create that guideline, it's gonna be like about like an inch, I would say. We're gonna go ahead and start erasing that line right away. Lately I've been liking doing this. Before I will leave that step to the end, but then you know, for some reason I like doing that right now. So what we start doing is we're gonna go ahead and start closing that lever, and how you can see, this is a bevel blade, like the curved blade, so it's easier to create that C motion, kind of flick that hair out. So I think this is the best and easier way to fade, just because it avoids making more lines, you know. So if you kind of think about the letter C and you kind of fade that way using your wrist, it kind of makes it easier to fade. Well, I mean, that's just my opinion, you know. Everybody has their own way of doing it, but you know, that's my way. Then just go ahead and finish when the lever is completely closed. You're gonna see the line is fully gone. Now we're gonna go ahead and use a number 1, and with number 1 we're gonna start with lever open, and then we're kind of gonna create another guideline. But remember what I always say, don't make super harsh guidelines, because then they're gonna be hard to remove. So what you do, you kind of create a soft guideline. So as soon as you're gonna make a line, you kind of you know, flick your wrist, and then it's gonna create like more like a softer guide, and that's what you do. We're gonna go ahead and close the lever. So we're gonna start fading pretty much that number 1 into the first guideline that we made with the lever open. We're gonna go ahead and use a 1/16. We're gonna start with the lever down, and then we're gonna close it little by little. Pretty much the same steps I use on other videos. It's kind of like the same type of technique that I use. I've been trying to be very consistent with the technique, just so you guys can kind of learn one technique, and then I can teach you all the techniques that I use, right? I think this is I mean, my opinion is the easiest way to learn. I don't know, for practicing this technique so much, I feel like it's so easy, and it's easy because you made your guide, so you know where you know what you gotta erase, and it makes it easier because you go by steps, right? So after you're done with a 1/16, you're gonna go ahead and use the machine with a lever open again, and you're gonna recreate that process that you did at the beginning. So you're gonna start with lever open, and then you start closing it little by little. This is going to remove any excess lines that you see or anything that needs to be removed. You can use the corners if you see any dark spots. Also, you know, you can always use other techniques, like, you know, like the clipper over comb, or whatever else you need to remove and retouch whatever you need to do. So here we're gonna go ahead and use a number 2 with the lever open, and then with this lever we're just gonna go ahead and close it right now, and then you're gonna continue fading. So pretty much you fade in number 3 that we did at the beginning, you fade into a 2, and then you fade into the number 1. And if you, in this case, like there was like a little line that I could see, so that I'm using number 1 again, and just kind of to help me remove and blend that 2 into the rest of the fade. So sometimes, yes, you have to repeat the steps, and it's okay, you know. At the end of the day, like, it's okay if you take like a little bit extra to kind of touch the fade up and kind of detail it, because clients will pay for this. Clients will pay for that dedication, and they notice when you take your time. I mean, at least my clients notice, and I know many clients also do. So to remove the beard, we're gonna use a number 1. I was trying to convince the client to keep the beard, but he didn't want it anymore. He was tired of it, so that's why we're taking it pretty much all down. I'm using my Supra just because I like using my Supra for when I need to remove a lot of bulk. So in this case, I'm using my Supra, but you don't have to. You can use whatever machine you have with a lever open or closed, and use a number 1 attachment. It's the same thing, guys. I know many of you kind of like that when I use the Supra. Some of you don't like when I use the Supra. So if you guys want me, leave me in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about, if you guys will be interested for me to do videos with only detachables. Anyways, we're gonna continue with tutorial. Here we're gonna use our trimmer to kind of shape out the beard. We just keep it natural, guys, for the most part. You know, just clean out the outside with it, you know, finally the natural lines. For the most part with my beards, I try to keep them natural. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed on my videos, I try to keep them natural just because I feel like they last a little longer. Sometimes when you push the hair down or back, you know, like it looks really nice, super sharp, but like especially with beards, like they're gonna grow in like a matter of like a couple of days, so like next day actually, you know. So you wanna keep it natural so it lasts a little longer. For those barbers that don't have a beard, they don't understand that sometimes when you shave, then you gotta shave the next day, and you gotta shave the next day, and again the next day. It just becomes very annoying. So the longer you can make that beard last, the better. And after we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and wet the hair. Make sure that the hair is fully wet. It's important for the hair to be wet so you can create the right sectionings and elevate the hair the right way. So remember to always wet the hair completely. Here we're gonna use our shark fin shears, guys. You guys know that I work for shark fin. You guys ask me all the time what the best shears are, and I always tell you shark fin shears are the best ones for me. That's why I chose to work with them. So I do have a discount code that will help you guys a lot. So if you guys want to use it, the discount code is FIT, F-I-T. Let's continue with the tutorial. Here we're gonna create the basic sectioning that we've been doing in all the videos, which I call it the mohawk sectioning. I just like keeping things simple anyway. So you create kind of like a mohawk right in the middle. This is gonna be your first guideline. So you can see this is your mohawk sectioning, and then we're gonna start cutting. This is gonna be our first guideline. Depending on that guideline, is kind of gonna give us the shape for everything else on the top, right? So we're gonna start from the back. We're gonna elevate the hair 90 degrees from the floor. The reason I say from the floor is that if you elevate it from the head, then you might make the mistake of cutting the front too short. And remember, we want to keep the the front longer, just because it's the lowest part of the head, you know, in the forehead. So you want to make sure that, you know, you elevate and you over direct that hair so you can create more length, so you can actually make it look even from the side. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead, and after we're done cutting that guy, we're gonna part the hair right in the middle. And right in the middle, just follow the nose and just kind of create a parting right in the middle. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna start taking horizontal sections, elevating the hair 90 degrees from the floor again. So we are gonna over direct a little bit of the sides, and the reason was because we're trying to create a square. We're trying to keep the top a square shape. Especially with how you can see my clients on the front, it's a little lighter. So when you have clients that have like the part of the forehead kind of like a little lighter, then you want to create a square shape so that the hair on the sides a little bit longer. It's going to cover a little bit or create a little more weight on those light corners, just in case. It's like a you know why, it's something that you don't need to do, but our clients will appreciate it if you kind of leave those corners a little covered. You know, like some of them might tell you they don't care, but everybody cares. Everybody cares. If you're a man, you care when you're losing your hair, when your hair is thinning out, or things like that. So in this case, you know, like if you cut a square shape for the most part, even on the forehead, because you're over directing the corners, you're gonna create like extra bulk there and extra length, extra weight actually. So that's why it's gonna make those sections like a little darker. To connect the sides, just make sure you connect it on pull the hair out from the head and then connect it that way. That's the easiest way I can explain you without going all textbook and stuff. Anyway, when you're done with that, you always want to go ahead and use some shear over comb. What I always say always is because for the most part, you don't create like very tiny sections. you might make mistakes and you might get like little sections of hair that look kind of like stairs. I don't know if you've seen it when sometimes we go cut with shears. You have these little hairs that look kind of stairs, like steps, just because the hair wasn't cut correctly. If you use something like a scissor over comb, shear over comb, you're gonna be able to remove those little steps, and it's gonna make the hair super smooth, and especially it's gonna create the blend, make the blend a little softer. When you're done with that, you're gonna go ahead and use a hot towel to shape up the beard. Don't forget to use any shaving product that you like to use. I use shaving gel just because it's clear, but you can use whatever you like. I remember when you're shaving to pull the skin, always pull the skin and put the clipper, put the blade on 90-degree angle. Sorry, I'm getting confused. It's like 2 in the morning and I haven't been able to sleep much because of the baby, so I'm kind of like zombie right now. But that's why I didn't post last week, and I'm sorry about that, guys. But I said it's been a little extra difficult with the baby and try to, you know, it's a newborn and stuff. But you know, not how I said. I always say it, even if you have a good reason not to do something, don't make that reason like an excuse, right? So that's why we're here working at this time. It doesn't matter. So yeah, just pull the skin pull the skin and then put your blade on a 45-degree angle, and this is going to allow you to create a nice shave without cutting the client or without, you know, committing any mistakes, and you're still going to be able to be very detailed and sharp. But it's important for you to always remember to pull the skin. So in this case, you can see I'm shaving the neck. I'm using my finger to push the skin down, and also the client, by putting his head up, is stretching the skin on the neck. So, you know, those are little things that are very important for you to notice. The top is going to be kind of messy, so what I'm doing is I'm drying it and I'm kind of moving it with my fingers. So yeah, it's actually going to dry with that messy look. That's exactly what we're going for. And then we're going to put a little bit of product. For blonde hair, I like using products that have a tiny bit of shine, just because blonde hair tends to not have a lot of shine. It to be very kind of dull, and you know, healthy hair actually has shine, so I like to add a little bit of shine to this type of hair. And just don't forget to blend the beard into the fade. Just kind of use your machine with the lever open first and close it little by little until the beard is fully blended. I like doing that, just kind of blend the sideburn into the fade, just so everything has balance and it looks like it goes together, you know. And that's it, guys. This is the final look. I like this haircut a lot just because it looks super clean. It's a big transformation. He looks like a total different guy than the one that started on the beginning of the video. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.